In a world where your inbox is being inundated with messages, your phone is getting text messages, Bing, LinkedIn is sending you messages, it gets overwhelming. A direct mail piece can help you get your message out in front of your prospect in an area that's quiet right now. It can help you start to make a real connection with the individual that feels more personal, and you'll start to build trust. My name is Donna Peterson, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how direct mail piece can give your brand validity. And then I'm going to bring you through a few step-by-steps on how I just did a direct mail campaign to promote that I'll be speaking at Fabtech, because everyone is getting tons of announcements from trade shows. I'll be there, stop by my booth, I'm talking about this. But how do you stand out? And that's with the direct mail piece. Why is direct mail coming back in popularity? It's been around for years. Our company was founded in 1980 by my mom. And at that time, it was a mailing list company. That's all we did, was mailing lists. Then the computer came, and then everyone was getting emails. So then our services obviously evolved, and that's how come we're still here. But the core was always at postal and mailing lists. We're seeing that people are starting to dive back into some of those old school marketing tactics because it's not as crowded there. It used to be years ago, people would complain, oh, they get so many pieces in the mailbox. How can we get our message to stand out? Now people, if you jump on and start doing direct mail, there aren't a ton of people in the mailbox. Your messages will be seen, and you'll be able to create a relationship with your prospects.
Before we jump in, your host is Donna Peterson, and you are listening to the B2B Marketing Excellence and AI podcast. We come to you every week with actionable tips and suggestions that can help you be more efficient, create better marketing plans, and be a salesperson that really closes those leads.
When someone gets a mail piece, I wish I had one right around me right now, I don't. But when they get that mail piece, they know how expensive it is. First, it gives your brand validity. It shows them that you are here to stay. You are here to help them. You care enough, and I sounded like a commercial, you care enough to send a direct mail piece. In that direct mail piece, if the individual only looks at it and then throws it out, you have gotten more eyes on your brand than if they saw an email and they hit delete. They spend at least 30 seconds looking at not only who sent them, but a quick review of the letter or the postcard, whatever you sent. So it gives you more credibility. It helps you stand out from the competition. It also, as I mentioned, there's not as much mail in the mailbox, so your message stands out. And then if you do it and cultivate the right messaging that speaks directly to that individual, you start to form a relationship, because then they're like, oh my goodness, she gets me. She knows what I need to accomplish. She wanted the business enough to send the very best, to spend the money for a postal campaign. And then you can give them examples of your work so that they feel like this is exactly what they need. So recently, I decided to walk the talk. Here at World Innovators, we have always done mailing campaigns in-house for our own promotion. We have clients that do it. We have some who won't do any digital. They still want to do direct mail campaigns because they feel that is the only way their offer can really be seen. And so they do direct mail. I wanted to go and do a direct mail campaign because I'll be speaking at Fabtech. Leading up to trade shows, people get tons of promotion. Stop by the booth, come by, spin the wheel. I'll be speaking here. But they get tons of emails. And I'm thinking, how can my message stand out? How can I get people to come to the session where I'll be giving them actionable tips on how they can use traditional marketing approaches like a direct mail piece with digital and using AI to tie it all in together. I want people to come to the session so that they can get valuable tips out of it. But I want to help people do their marketing in a quality way that helps them build a relationship. Because I strongly believe only companies that focus on relationships will grow into the future. So let me tell you what I did. I want to promote Fabtech, and then I'll be speaking at Fabtech. One, yes, I want people to go. But then, of course, if I send out a promotion, I'll get more visibility. They'll come to the session. More people come to the session. Hopefully, they'll ask me to speak again because it's so important that people be out there speaking about quality marketing, what really moves the business needle. So the first thing I did when I sat down to start the promotion, I had a few postal lists in-house of my own. I wanted to first verify. So I took the postal list and I went into ChatGPT and I wanted to verify that person, Tom Jones, was still at ABC Company and this was his job title, and that he was at that specific location of the company. Good thing I did. One of the first 5 addresses I put in, I think the first 4 were perfectly fine. That 5th one I put in, it ended up, the gentleman that they were saying was in Connecticut, and I had the address for the Connecticut office, ended up really be sitting in Minnesota. And I knew then I had to really verify the postal data because that's the first thing, people. When you're doing a direct mail campaign, we have to, one, make sure it's going to the right people, but you also have to verify that the data is accurate and updated. You can't use old data that maybe you bought from someone a billion years ago and just send a postal piece. You're wasting your money. And postage is up over what, I think it's 70 cents a piece. You don't want to waste, I think it's closer to 75 cents. You don't want to waste that money on campaigns that aren't going to reach the individual. It's just going to get thrown out. So the first thing is verify the list. So that's what I did. I went through the lists that I had. Quickly, I found some errors. I got those fixed and I got the labels printed. Now I felt good. I know these were the right people. I know they were at those companies still, and it was going to the right location. Now, when you go, let's say you say to me, Donna, I don't have my own list in-house. This is where you can go to third parties, and I highly recommend going to industry-specific publishers and conference companies. The reason why is because those entities use those lists themselves. So if Tom Jones moves, they know right away because they're not going to send their own promotions out to the wrong address. They update those files every time they get a return in. And they are also verifying it just to make sure, is Tom Jones still the VP of marketing or VP of finance, or did he get a promotion to the CEO? I don't know, but you need to verify those things because things change. So go through, but if you go to those industry specific sources and you do a direct mail campaign through them, you can verify that the information is cleaned and updated and current. Obviously, if they're subscribing to a specific magazine like Metal Forming Magazine, they're still in the metal forming space. No one's going to subscribe to Metal Forming Magazine if they're now doing cross-country skis, selling cross-country skis. You've got to make sure you've got the right vertical. So use third-party lists for that. The next thing after I had the list all together is think about, who do I want to target? Within this list, I might have marketing people, but I also might have CEOs. This is where I want to segment the list because I want to send two different messages. How I talk to a marketing person who's in a field that I know very well is different than how I might talk to a CEO. The CEO is always looking at that overview, full picture of the company. He's not looking at just marketing. He wants to know, how will this marketing initiative feed his sales team so his sales team can get in-person meetings so that they can make the sales? I have to make sure that is there. Over here with marketing, we might want to talk about lead generation and branding. You take the list and you segment it out. And even if you're using a third-party source, they can do that for you to some extent. They can't make all tiny little groups, but they can split things up so that you can send different messages to those two pools, let's say. So segment the list. Then you have these two pools. Now with your messaging. ChatGPT is great for this, or any of the large language models. I have content already created. I'm sure a lot of you have content or promotion pieces created. But what I did is I went into chat and I said, I'm promoting my presentation that I'm doing at Fabtech. Now, I have been working on this presentation for a few months now, and chat has a memory because I have the paid version. With the paid version, it has a memory there. It holds my Fabtech presentation, so it knows for a fact what I'm talking about in my Fabtech presentation. What platforms am I demoing? What is my main thought process with me? It is always about relationship building will grow your business because you instill trust. But taking that information, I'm able to say, help me create a nice letter to promote my presentation at Fabtech, give them the room number, the date, and the time, and give them 3 takeaways that they're going to get from my presentation. Now, like I said, chat already knows my presentation. It's able to go through my presentation and give me back a nice letter as a baseline. I then go through and I fix the letter based on how I talk, how I want to come across. And chat, I've told chat a million times who I am. Make sure the messages are grounded, sounding like we truly care about helping companies succeed. And it does do that, but I still, even after it creates something, I tweak it so it sounds more like me. But there we have the baseline that they gave me. I then went and cultivated and tweaked it. But now I took the message and I said, I need one to be directed towards directors of marketing, CMOs, and I need it then changed a bit so it's talking to CEOs. It's not going to be a huge change, but some of the verbiage is going to be different. Some of the top hook, that top sentence is going to be different so that the CEO sees, hey, this is for me. I should be reading this. Or the marketing director saying, oh, okay, this pertains to what I'm working on. I'm going to read the message. So ChatGPT helped me take my messaging and change it for the different titles that I was promoting to. This is great because now we've segmented the list. We've got our message. Now we create our labels and we can send it out. Believe it or not, if you have an Excel spreadsheet or something, you can even dump that into ChatGPT. Tell them what type of labels you're going to print it out on, if you're going to print it out on labels, an Avery label or whatever the number is, and it can go in and give you the sheet like label format. Then you ask it in a downloadable format, you download it, and you're able to print out your labels right like that. Or in my case, what we did is they threw the envelopes through the printer and it printed right on the envelopes. That mailing has gone out the door. I'll have to let you know if it brought people to the session. I asked people to please introduce themselves at the session. That way I would get an idea. But I'm not going to stop there. This is where direct mail is great and all marketing channels are great, but they're never stand alone. They need to be complemented with the other marketing channels. The postal list went out. Then I went and you go onto LinkedIn and make sure you connect with those people. Make sure you put messages out there of whatever was in this letter. So for me, the Fabtech presentation, I'm now getting LinkedIn social posts out there about the presentation coming up, getting quotes from clients about the content that's in there, so that no matter what marketing channel they're looking at, they're going to see it. These people are also going to get an email from us. And I know what I said about their inboxes being so full, but after they get a postal piece, they'll remember the brand, they'll remember the name, World Innovators, and then they'll look at the email. When you don't do this, when you don't complement other marketing channels with an email or with a postal campaign, they're just standing out there all by themselves. They're not going to bring you the prospects because there's no way that a standalone can really start to build that relationship and deepen it so it instills trust. It's just like when you meet someone for the first time. Let's say you go on one date. Yeah, you think the guy's nice, but are you going to marry him? No. It takes several dates to go out with him, to get to know him, to build a relationship, to trust him, to when you'd finally get to the point that you'd want to marry him. And that's what you've got to think about with your marketing. It's not just a one and done thing. Years ago, it used to be big, broad, general messages. It's not like that anymore. Now they've got to be specific and talk directly to their audience. Using ChatGPT can now help you close up those gaps, can help you make those marketing messages that speak directly to the individual, answering their challenges, answering their pain point. And then you can personalize it. You can personalize some of the letters not only by individual name, but by company name, or maybe by vertical. Maybe there's a specific thing happening in the biotech space that you want to mention in the letter, so you can do that. And then within the letter, you can have a call to action. With the promotion I just sent out, the only call to action was, if you're going to come to Fabtech, attend the session. But then I did write, if you're not going to be there and you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help. I think it's important that we all just give information. I always say to people, give. You've got to let the information be out there in the marketplace, let people digest it. And when they see it and they realize that this is a good fit for them, they will reach out to you. Another great thing to have with those direct mail pieces are GPTs, individual GPTs that can, again, give the individual a place where they can go to do more of their research about your company, get more information. Direct mail is an old school tactic, but with the new school tactics of AI, we now can take direct mail pieces and have them so that they speak directly to the individual. And then also with mailboxes not being as full, your messages can stand out. But please make sure your messages aren't just generic postcards that they know you just mailed out 5,000 or 50,000 of them. That's not going to do it, especially in our space where we have long sales cycle. Those people have to feel like this is a personalized message directly to them, and it has to speak about their challenges or their concerns. Direct mail is a great way to give your brand more validity and to start those relationships. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me at dpeterson@worldinnovators.com. If you're going to be at Fabtech, please come attend the session. I would love to see you. And until next week, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the World Innovators B2B Marketing Excellence and AI podcast. If you'd like to be updated when new episodes come out, don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out our social media accounts to stay up to date on B2B marketing trends.